Remember to subscribe, it would make me and this cat very happy. Serious prostitutes, escorts, strippers, other kinds of sex workers. What was your first day on the job like? Did escorting for about a year. First day was relieving. I was terrified at first because I was given the rundown for what redheads to look out for. There were a lot, but I went on. Most of my clients ended up being older men who just wanted a pretty girl to be seen with and to listen to them. My first day felt more like a therapist than an escort. I'm naive to escort related stuff. What about redheads now? Pretty sure that is an autocorrect of red flags. That makes much more sense and now I feel like an idiot. Wouldn't be the first time I've made a fool of myself around here. I honestly was like, how the hell did he know I had red hair during it? LMFAO. But it's all good. Red flags we were told about. Asterisk never go home with anyone. Asterisk do not accept tips for special services. Asterisk always figure out a safe word or color out red. Stop yellow is uncomfortable. Keep your phone on you at all times. Asterisk always check in. We had to check in at least every 30 minutes. Asterisk your phone had GPS apps hooked up to them that pinged our whereabouts automatically. However, we were to always state where we were going. If we ended up going somewhere without telling someone first and our phone pinged the new location, they'd send someone out without warning to check on us. Asterisk 911 before the service if anything went south. Asterisk our voicemail had pre-recordings of us listing alias names, age, weight, height, gender, physical features in case we called the police and shit went south. That way when they called the phone back they knew who we were and what we looked like. Asterisk if we were going on trips, business, or family with a client, we had a bodyguard follow behind or in the vehicle with us. Asterisk always ask permission before accepting a client. Asterisk clients always had background checks, gave their IDs, license plates, physical appearances, etc. The info was kept confidential, however they signed their own waivers stating if things went south a thorough investigation would be done. I don't remember all of the red flags, but those were some that stuck out. If anything, they were meant to keep us safe. It was just unnerving to me being young and inexperienced to think why all those things were in place in the first place. Our voicemail had pre-recordings of us listing alias names, age, weight, height, gender, physical features in case we called the police and shit went south. That way when they called the phone back they knew who we were and what we looked like. That one is fucking smart. Somebody send this to the writers at SVU. Did it change how you thought about men? It really did. From stories and jokes etc. that you hear, they really sell the men are pigs things. I joined as an escort to make money fast and easy. Sex wasn't on the menu for escorting. My roommate was the one who convinced me into it because she was actually selling her body out at the time and the guys were more fond of me. My roommate was heavyset and had acne and a pass poor attitude. She thoroughly lived by the men only want one thing, mainly because she was genuinely a bitch and pushed people away like crazy. She blamed guys for it. Ugh. And I was young and stupid and believed her, so it was a massive shock when my first day led to a gentleman who wanted to talk about how great his wife was and how he missed their connection and wanted to talk about that and only that. He read me poetry and asked for my opinion on dates. Definitely a game changer. A lot of my clients were like that. Unexpected wholesome content. Until you realize these men are paying thousands just to talk to someone. Feels bad, man. A bit intimidating, but not really much different. If anything, I had a little better of an idea of what I was doing compared to working at Starbucks. Yo, for real. Day 5 and I'm doing the whole line and closing a shift myself. All my trainer did was let me drink coffee and read from the manual to me. Fuck Starbucks. They did that shit to me, and a week after I was hired the manager of 5 years left the location and was replaced with someone brand new. I quit after 6 months because they called me and tried to make me come in every single day that I was scheduled off. It was awful. Sometimes multiple people in one day. I said no. I liked all the free coffees though. I did it for 3 months straight. They even wanted me to train new people. I was never even officially certified though. I found the pin drawer and signed the certificate myself, and I have the pin. I quit shortly after that though. Remember to subscribe, it would make me and this cat very happy. I worked independently as an escort, so there wasn't really anyone to give me advice on what to expect. I read some websites here and there with general advice and set up a profile. The first few messages were people trying to scam me or looking for free nudes, and eventually somebody came through who seemed genuine. We discussed everything and then set a meetup at his place. Followed up with a phone call as I was setting off to confirm. Seemed a bit shifty over the phone, which made me nervous, and I didn't fully understand the directions to his place. I walked in circles around several apartment blocks being lost and called him nearly in tears because I couldn't figure out where to go. He ended up standing outside his block, so I saw him, and he actually looked normal lol. Slightly balding, wearing a t-shirt and jeans with round face and a kind expression. I can still picture him waving at me and me running towards him like a lost child who just found their parent. Got inside his apartment, ushered him into the shower with me, and then the actual sex part was over fairly quickly. He booked a whole hour and we probably spent 45 minutes just talking about his life, video games and movies we like. The job has its ups and downs, but after that I stopped being so nervous and learned it wasn't as difficult as I thought. Most of my job was just being a good listener and boosting egos, make people feel good about themselves. I'm convinced that a business that just had nice people to share a cup of coffee with would be successful. There's just a lot of lonely people in the world. In Korea they actually had /have services where a hot girl would bring coffee to your apartment. Then they'd have sex with you because it was just a cover for prostitution, but still, the business model is nearly there. Man, they can bugger off with their sex. I paid for an hour of talking, not 58 minutes. SMH, flexing on us like that, come on man. Not everyone makes it past 59.5. Was a stripper in my late teens. First day I was nervous as fuck. Some drunk dude walks up to the stage waving a dollar bill and said, "Slap your ass, I'll give you $1." Oddly enough, that made me somehow more comfortable with the whole thing. I actually enjoyed it and wasn't half bad. Made more money, legally, from 17 to 20 than any other job I had until like 2 years ago. I'm 37 now. I had a friend at uni who stripped for a while. She was a proper girl next door type girl, last person you'd expect to do it. She told me she found it empowering, which I never really understood. She also said she wanted to prove to herself she could. I don't know if that was a body confidence thing or something, but regardless, I got the impression she at least didn't hate it. There's definitely a cool power dynamic with you want to touch me, but you can't, so you're paying money just to look at me. Not to mention it takes some codjones to get up on a stage in general. I'm glad it sounds like she had an alright time of it. Not to mention the sheer athleticism it takes to be a stripper. I had a stripper deadlift me one-armed, and I weigh about 200 lbs. Escort in a brothel. Edit. Escort is a commonly used synonym for all the other words for full-service sex worker where I'm from. Making a note as there has been some confusion. Honestly, my first day was a mixed bag. The other girl I worked with was hilarious and properly took me under her wing and fed me a glass of wine before my first John to settle my nerves. I haven't drank on the job since that day, but that one drink really helped. I got tipped by one client, assaulted by another. When I was assaulted though, the other worker, the receptionist and my boss all had my back and gave him a proper telling off and barred him. This was a one-off, it hasn't happened since. I've never felt safer in any other job, and I have more control. I walked home that day with more money than I'd earned in a week in my last job. I've never looked back. Do you still work there? Yes, I do. I'm planning on doing more independent work once this pandemic's settled, but my plan has always been to still do a few shifts a month. Sex work can be so isolating, so it's good for the social aspect if nothing else. When you say you'd be going independent, do you mean you'd have a client list and they'd have direct contact with you? Or are you going to use the service to find new clients? I would advertise for my own client base and go from there. I'm long retired now, but I was 21 at the time and at a loose end. New city and no job, so decided to work at a gentleman's club as a prostitute. I'd done my research and been in for an interview, so I was feeling confident and relaxed. No one else showed up on time, so I was the only girl there on the day shift and sat chatting to the receptionists. My first client was a really good looking English/SRI Lankan guy who was really sweet and equally nervous. We both couldn't believe it was the other's first time until we were both fumbling and laughing trying to put a condom on correctly. I can't remember who else I saw that day, but I do remember getting paid more than I had earned in a week working 2 jobs. I ended up working for around 7 years and really enjoyed it. That actually sounds really adorable, haha. I'm glad you had a good first experience. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share the video with your friends and family and turn on notifications to never miss a video.